else I'll say. Continue.
Happy New Year, Bashar.
Good day and good New Year to you.
Bashar, I've been thinking a lot lately about what you talked about earlier about the body being a vibrational frequency.
Yes.
And how everything around us is also a vibrational frequency, like
Yes.
the food we eat would have a certain vibration, each
Yes.
individual food, colors,
Yes.
clothing.
Yes. Everything is different or seen as different because it is a different vibrational frequency of the same primal energy.
Right. But the primal part
Yes, is homogeneous.
when you meet frequencies, everything that is unlike that primal will then meet face to face, right? And that way you identify differences.
In a sense, yes.
And maybe clear them away so that one day they'll all be the same basic.
In a
again.
sense, that does not devalue individuality. And in a sense, anything that has ever existed will always exist. But creation within itself can be, shall we say, harmoniously aligned.
Right. For about the last year and a half, I've had a real interesting physiological symptomology.
Yes.
And I thought at first that it was like chemical. I have had like my lower intestine swells and my left leg, the foot and ankle swell up. And so I got very interested in herbs and all kinds of things because I didn't want to go the traditional route with it.
All right.
And recently I'm beginning to think it might be a vibrational thing or an energetic of some kind.
Well, do understand, of course, that all physiological reality is representative of a vibration. And sometimes when you're in a particular vibrational state, you will, of course, generate a physical and or chemical reason for a particular manifestation.
Right.
Because everything must have a counterpart in that particular reality in order to be experienced in that reality.
A psychic told me that she thought I was working out something that I hadn't been strong enough to work out before. Now, I wondered if you would reflect on that with me, because I know one night when my foot was particularly swollen, a friend did some Reiki on it, and it like went right down in 15 minutes. And I thought, well, that's interesting because it seems more like an energetic to do that.
That does not mean that that particular methodology of assimilation isn't connected to a particular origin for that energy. Whatever the methodology is that assimilates, it does not necessarily have to be representative of how that particular situation got started. It can simply be representative of the ability to accept balance and blending, regardless of what the reasons are you may have created for initiating that particular circumstance to begin with.
So in your perspective, it has to do with balance?
Well, everything does, ultimately.
Yeah.
In other words, a being that is in perfect balance cannot experience what you call dis-ease of any nature, by definition.
Right.
Now, may I ask a question?
Please do.
Thank you. How do you think of yourself, or have you ever thought of yourself as what you may call a healer?
Yes, I went through some real changes about that one.
All right. Would you care to illuminate some of those changes?
About 7 years ago, when I started studying the Course in Miracles, my hands started having this life of their own. And, and I was also studying with the Taoist priest at around the same time. And I remember I would be drawn to people who had any kind of imbalance. And I'd move my hands around over them, and I got very insecure about what I was doing. And because I didn't know, I thought, well, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? And, and they would seem to get better, you know. And
do you now know that you knew what you were doing?
I do know that now.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I've gone through some changes on it. What I did is I brought up past life stuff where I was real afraid of what would happen to me if I did these kinds of things.
Oh, you mean like the psychic told you?
Which psychic? You mean the one that, which one was that?
The one that said you were still working some stuff out from a past life association.
Is that all related to?
Of course.
I'm blocking that energy still?
Because you have arrived at a similar point in this life, analogous to the point you were at in the other life. So the same ideas are coming up again. How you handle it now, how you assimilate it now, will depend upon the persona, the person you have created yourself to be now. The only hang-up, shall we say, is if you still identify with the persona you used to be then.
Right. I saw that, and so I've been letting go of all that. That's another time. That's not me now.
Yes.
And I thought the healing energy was going to be mainly coming out in my artwork, my paintings.
Okay.
Tell me that
but
they
you
have
have been very active with the using of your hands in many civilizations. You were very strong this way in Atalantean times as well.
I'm very drawn to study some techniques now to use the hands, just so that I'll feel like I have
All right. A
definite
suggestion.
pattern to use.
A suggestion about the idea of the swelling in your own form would be to think in terms of fluidics and the idea of fluid seeking its own level and balancing out, rather than building up, piling up in any one particular area that may represent an imbalance of flow. Think of energy flow, balance of flow, and then there will not need to be a physiological manifestation of the swelling up of any particular area because the flow is imbalanced. Understand?
I do understand. And if I stop blocking all this other energy,
yes,
and let that all flow
through you,
and go ahead and let it manifest however it manifests.
With integrity, yes.
With integrity, always, yeah. That's interesting. So it's a balance of fluids, or it's just manifesting that way? You mean?
Yes, to some degree, manifesting as an imbalance of fluids because of the imbalance of the energy fluid within you.
Oh, the fluidity of the energy.
Yes.
Oh, I get it. Oh, great. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to tell you that life is becoming very exciting.
Oh, thank you.
Every day's a wonderful adventure.
Oh, thank you very much. Do remember, life has always been that exciting. You're just remembering that.
Yes,
now.
I'm really glad to.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bashar.
Shouting.
Hello, Bashar.
Good day and good New Year to you.
Good New Year. Same to you. A lot of things have been happening to us
yes,
as a family group and everything. Very exciting and
speak up so that all may share.
Okay. That I'd like to thank you for your encouragement all the time.
Oh, that's
and,
easy.
To play those games. And something else has been occurring that
yes,
I don't quite understand what's happening, and that's why I decided to ask you. It is about our little daughter.
Yes.
She's almost 4 years old.
All right.
And she was sleeping pretty good every night until suddenly she started waking up, and you know, it was some panic, and that's happening for like 2.5 months, something like that, every night around 11 or 12 o'clock. And then I started perceiving myself some kind of the panic that she was feeling. I started feeling it myself. So that helped me to use some techniques on her, and so has been useful for me too. But
all right, very good.
And I found like it helped her too to run some. To get like to confront some negativity of fears in herself. But right after that, she suddenly wasn't afraid, and so, but she was still waking up. So I asked her what happened, and she said, guys came, you know. She said that was a little guy
yes,
who comes to wake her up at night, and she said, he said, Scarlett, let's play with the toys. And he said he starts playing with the toys.
yes.
So I said,
I see nothing unusual in this so far.
Oh, but then, then she says that, and I ask her more questions about how does he look. He said about my size and all this, and so she says that he came flying through the window. You
yes.
know? So I relaxed and I started understanding what, I think it was happening with her or whatever.
Yes.
But the only thing is, no worries me, but I can say it bothers me a little bit. She keeps waking up still. Sometimes stay like 2 or 3 hours at night, and
yes,
she comes to our bed constantly. So
yes,
I stay kind of awake several times too. So
all right.
I just like to ask you what's happening right now. After that, she's a little bit, sick. Some congestion in her chest, and I've been herpes, but still she has a little bit like cold and congestion, things like that. So I just want to ask you what's happening.
All right.
Please.
One moment. until what you call